Good afternoon YouTube, Xfile2708 back again with another video. As you can tell from today's thumbnail, and probably as expected, we have another rabbit hole that I am about to, well, I would say I'm about to disappear feet first down, but I'm not going to. I'm dipping my toes in the water of this rabbit hole. Certainly not going to be going to the extent as some of you guys out there with this particular collection. Off the top of my head, the likes of Sammy G, Stuart George's home movies. Big fans of this particular format and some really nice collections that they've got from it. But the story to this one, guys, probably back in June, I think it was, when myself and Lewis actually moved from where we were into this flat. My good friend James came across one Sunday along with Frenchie, helped us move all of the big furniture into the new flat. James very kindly, knowing that it would send me down a rabbit hole, there's always, you know, something underhand with what James does. He knew exactly what he was doing by passing this across to me, and what he passed over was one of his VHS players. So what I'll do, guys, I'll put some footage over the top showing the VHS in action. So you can see the VHS player and the TV that's connected up. Basically what it is, it's a Sony VHS player. It's an absolutely mint condition, been really well looked after by James, Sony video recorder. It looks and it plays absolutely superb. James, to coin a phrase, has serviced it regularly. So yeah, it plays perfect. So what I've done, I've set it up in the spare room. So it's on an old school, literally an old school desk. So if you remember the days, if you're my sort of age or thereabouts, you'll remember the days of the wooden desks with the inkwells at the top, the lids that you used to be able to put all of your books and your pencil cases and all of that sort of thing into. So I've got a double one of those that I sit at to do my drawing. Or that was the theory. It doesn't always work out that way. More often than not, I'm sat on the sofa with some music on in the background or something. But it was brought for that purpose. So what I've done, I've connected the VHS player up on that desk, and it's alongside a 26-inch old school. It's not a CRT, but it's one of the very early LCD TVs, so it weighs an absolute ton. But the picture quality on it is absolutely brilliant, especially for VHS. The speaker that's part of that LG TV sounds absolutely superb. I used to have that connected up to a Blu-ray player in my bedroom before myself and Lewis moved, and the sound quality from that old school LCD TV was better than my Samsung 55-inch 4K that I've got here in the living room. So sound quality absolutely brilliant. So what I've done, I've connected it up through the old SCART. Again, the bonus of that that LG old school TV, it's got all of the connections on the back. So it's got, I think, 2 SCARTs. It's got HDMI, but then it's got component, composite, and all the others. So the theory, having it set up in the spare room with the VHS player, if I want to go back down the route later on down the line, which, you know me, there's always that distinct possibility. If I want to go back and do retro gaming, so the likes of the Sega Mega Drive, the Master System, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast. I can plug all of those in to that LG LCD TV. Screen size wise on that, it's, I think, corner to corner, it's 26 inches, I think, something like that. But as you can see from the footage that I showed, using that test VHS of good old Billy Connolly, my favourite comedian of all time, you'll see it looks absolutely superb. I did mute the sound on it because obviously I don't want a copyright strike from wherever, and the video to be taken down. But picture quality and rest assured sound quality for the VHS player is absolutely brilliant. So many thanks to James for passing that across completely free of charge, kind of a housewarming gift, if you like. So, you know, with a little bit of underhand knowing that he was sending me down that particular rabbit hole. But he passed me across 2 VHSs, so I'll show you those first. And then I've got another 5 VHS here, one that I've had for a couple of years, and 4 that I picked up when I was out with Lewis a couple of weeks ago. So, like I say, I'm only going to be dipping my toes into this particular rabbit hole. But every now and again, you know, where I see a video that's particularly nostalgic to me, I'll pick it up if it's nice and cheap in a charity shop. But we all know, you know, the chances of stumbling across gems VHS wise in charity shops are few and far between, and I'm certainly not going to be paying several hundreds of pounds for pre-cert horrors and all of that. Much as I'd like to have them in the collection, in reality it's not going to happen. So without further ado, guys, let me show you. Let's have a look. 2, 4, 6. I've got 7 here. I've got 2 that I'll show you later on in the week in a separate pickups video. So I'm pretty much in double figures already for this rabbit hole that I am just dipping my toes in the water. So the first one that James very kindly passed across was a Boris Karloff film from, wow, this actually says copyright 1933. And I think it's one, well, it's definitely a film that I haven't seen before, but it's one I've ummed and ahed about probably in the last 6 months with picking it up on Blu-ray, so it has had a Blu-ray release. But what I might do is actually have a watch of this on VHS. So I mentioned the setup that's in there, and I am looking on Marketplace for a nice comfy little office chair or gaming chair. So for the times that I actually do want to go and watch something on VHS, then I can sit in the spare room nice and comfy, grab myself a brew and sit and watch a VHS. So, you know, these won't be for decoration. I will be watching these where they're films that I haven't got on a different format, with one being the exception that I'll show you in a minute. So, but yeah, there's The Ghoul from 1933. Show you the back of the box as well. I'm also in the process of clearing a Big Billy bookcase in the spare room that's going to house my my VHSs. So not that I'm going to need a whole Billy bookcase full. Never say never. So there we go. There's The Ghoul with Boris Karloff. As usual, guys, we'll do a little bit of stackage to the left of me, jokers to the right, and all that jazz. Right. The other one that James passed across, I was buzzing with this one. This is probably my 5th or 6th different release of this one in my collection. But wow, what an absolute banger of a film. And I'm pretty sure this was the one that I brought on VHS when it got unbanned here in the UK as part of the, you know, what went on with the Video Nasties. And it is the Vipco release of Zombie Flesh Eaters. So I was buzzing when I saw that James was passing me this one across to start the the VHS subset. So there we go. But yeah, I remember that one, like I say, going into Woolworths. I can't remember, it was $9.99 or $14.99, something like that. And it said on there that it was the first time. Oh, there you go. It says the first previously banned horror film to be available in a special edition widescreen. So good old Vipco again. That's another one of my subsets I've got going on to the side of me. But yeah, really pleased to grab this one. And yeah, I probably will give it a watch on VHS and see how it looks. So, like I say, I was a little bit sceptical about playing VHS. You know, I didn't want to buy, you know, spend several pound or something on one particular VHS to stick it in the player for it to chew it up, and you know, I'll be out of pocket. I've just got a paperweight then. But like I say, James serviced the VHS player on a regular basis, and that Billy Connolly one I brought as a test. I think it was 50p in one of the local charity shops. I've put that in and had a watch, and it's flawless. So I'm quite happy. Unless it's a VHS that drops into my lap that's worth several £100, in which case that will stay a paperweight. So, but yeah, Zombie Flesh Eaters, one of my favourite video nasties on, there we go, the Vipco VHS. Nothing really to show you on the back, but for those of you that have got an interest, I'll show the backs of the boxes as well. So there we go, Zombie Flesh Eaters. The one that I already had in the collection, probably had this in my collection a couple of years now. Again, those of you that follow the channel regularly will know that this particular film is my favourite film of all time. And basically, I collect all formats of this film as and when I come across copies of it. So I've got the VHS of Duel. Like I say, my all-time favourite film, so had this one on display, you know, when I was back in the house previously before we moved here. So I think that featured, you know, regularly in the backgrounds of my videos and things like that. But yep, Steven Spielberg's Duel on VHS, and this is probably going to be the first one that I'll pop on that VHS player once I've got myself a nice comfy chair. So there we go, there's Duel on VHS. There we go. Right, and these last four, myself and Lewis were out and about a couple of weeks ago, popped into a charity shop that I know from time to time when we've been in there previously, they have had some VHS. I remember probably a year or so ago, before that particular charity shop relocated, that they'd got the VHS of The Abyss, which I would have picked up if they'd still got it. Sadly, since they've moved, you know, it's either sold or been moved on to another charity shop. But I went in, and to strike it lucky, I mean, this is, you know, just how much, you know, right place, right time. There was literally next to the counter, because all of their VHS are upstairs. So I was going to send Lewis up to have a look for me and let me know if there was anything of interest. But to the side of the counter, there was a big storage box full of VHS. And the lady there said, they've literally just been brought in. We haven't had time to cycle through them yet. You know, you're more than welcome to have a look through and see if there's anything of interest. So I didn't need telling twice. So started having a rummage through the box. This charity shop, when I've been in previously, they're normally either £1 each or 3 for £1, depending on what they are. But certainly, unlike other charity shops, you know, you're not going to go in there and they're going to charge you £20 for a VHS, because that's apparently what the asking price is on the likes of eBay and other online auction sites. So I managed to find 4 that were of interest. Like I say, I'm not going to end up with, well, the plan is I'm not going to end up with hundreds of these. Just literally cherry picking certain favourites, especially if they're horror films, or just other types of films that are super nostalgic for me. So the 4 that I managed to get in this particular charity shop: the original Amityville Horror VHS, with James Brolin in, Margot Kidder and Rod Steiger. Absolute banger of a horror, in my opinion. I know it's not everybody's favourite, but for me, if you look back on my From Horror to Hollywood episode that I did with James, where I did my top 10 horrors of all time, for me, the original Amityville Horror is in that top 10. So to see it on VHS, and literally the lady said, you can have them for £1 each if that's all right. And when you see what I've got and what some of these go for, I think the cheapest, when I looked, when myself and Lewis got back, I think the cheapest online that you could pick it up for was £6 plus postage. One of them was selling undersold items for £15 on average. So to pay £1 each, I was buzzing to be able to add these into the collection. So there we go, guys. There's the original Amityville Horror. Oh, look at that VHS stackage. A film that I haven't seen yet, so it's one I think Pam has spoke very highly about. So it's on our list to watch together at some point soon. I have got it on Blu-ray up there, so if I wanted to, you know, I could pull the trigger on a couple of old school cinema seats for the spare room and have a proper setup, but I don't think I'm going to go down that route just yet. But I have got it on DVD up there, and I think I might have brought it recently on Blu-ray. I can't remember. But yeah, 10 Rillington Place. And that's on the old school Cinema Club label, if anyone remembers that from the VHS days. So, like I say, film that I've never seen before, starring Richard Attenborough, but heard very good things about it. So definitely one that I'll be watching on some format. Whether I'll watch it on this particular VHS, I don't know, but as I say, I'll just cherry pick certain ones to watch on VHS, the likes of Duel, etc., and yeah, see where we go from there. So 10 Rillington Place, again, £1 English on VHS. Jodie will be impressed with this one. There we go, the original Exorcist on VHS. So this was at the very top of the box, so I couldn't get it into my hands quick enough. And all of these as well, I double checked and they were mould free, so they will play on the VHS player without causing any damage. So the original Exorcist on VHS for £1. Absolutely superb. So there we go, there's the Exorcist. And then to finish, this one isn't a horror, but it is a VHS for a film that I have wanted to watch for some time. Now the DVD for this is actually out of print, so for the DVD alone, I think CX are charging the likes, I think nearly £12, so something like this. Now I checked eBay sold listings when we got back, and I think one had sold recently for just over £13. So it is a film that's hard to get hold of on any format. So I am definitely going to be giving it a watch on this VHS, because that's the only copy that I've got. But it's Roy Chubby Brown's movie, the only movie that he did, called UFO. So anyone remember this one from back in the day? Let me know in the comments. Huge Chubby Brown fan. Met him several years ago up here in the northeast. He lives, I think, over Middlesbrough way. So bumped into him, had my photo taken with him. So through the power of video editing. If I can find the picture, I'll put it up on the screen now. Really funny guy, really, you know, approachable and down to earth, as you can imagine. Certainly not everybody's cup of tea, because, you know, the snowflakes out there that get offended by his jokes and his humour in general. You know, he's not everybody's cup of tea. I've probably got 20 or 30 of his live stand-up DVDs in the spare room, and I still enjoy putting them on and having a laugh of an evening, couple of rum and cokes, and watch a bit of Chubby Brown live, old school stuff. It's absolutely brilliant. Lucky enough as well to see him a few times down in Leamington at the Spa Centre, doing his live stand-up as well back in the day. But yeah, super happy to get this one-off movie that he did. I heard it's supposed to be pretty good, actually. So yeah, to find that in the particular charity shop, again, £1 average is £10 to £15 on VHS. I was super happy with that one. So there we go. There's Roy Chubby Brown's UFO movie. So there we go, guys. That's my VHS stackage for today's video, and courtesy of James, a new rabbit hole that I will tentatively disappear down from time to time. As I mentioned at the start of the video, I have got 2 more VHS as part of my growing slowly collection. Those were picked up from a shop in Hartlepool recently, but I'll show those couple as part of a mega haul, if you like, that I got from that particular shop last week with Lewis. So I'll share that video. I'll aim to get that recorded hopefully tail end of this week, so watch this space. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts on VHS are. Do you collect it? Do you still watch it? What do you think of my little setup? It's only, you know, temporary. The spare room, when myself and Lewis moved in, it was pretty much a dumping ground for all of everything that was boxed up and needed to be sorted through. You know how it goes with, you know, the likes of moving house and things. So it's pretty much clear now of all of the storage boxes. So as I say, I've got it set up on the school desk. TV, old school LCD TV, VHS player connected through SCART, and I'll aim to get a nice comfy chair, and that's all sitting, well, not the chair, but the TV and the VHS player sat on an old school retro school desk. So, you know, I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, any VHSs that you've picked up recently. Let me know if you do watch VHS, what your sort of setup is, or do a video response if you like. Always nice to have that interaction with you guys. So there we go, that's my video for today, guys. As always, please remember to like, comment and subscribe and all that good stuff, and I'll be back later on in the week with another video. Bye for now, guys.